Special emergency broadcast from the Outlaw Way.
Wait, you're saying that?
Can you look scared?
You're saying that?
Yeah. Well, no. Amanda already put it in. She already added it, and then I announced it.
Am I supposed to be scared?
Yeah, you have to act scared. Imagine you're...
I can't. No. I was scared once when I was like 4.
These are 5 tips. We've come up with 5 ways, 5 rules.
Oh, I need more coffee. This is fucking bad.
How not to spread the coronavirus in your gym. Why am I'm still doing like announcery voice.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not working.
I feel good about it though. I feel really good. Rule number 1.
Because we know what we're talking about.
Can we
no high-fiving.
Don't high-five anybody.
/ fist bump.
They have the virus.
Everyone is the enemy.
Everybody has it except you.
Everyone's the enemy.
Do not high-five.
Don't do it.
Don't hug.
I think elbows.
No.
That's just
no.
Safe. Yeah, it's safe.
The coronas can jump.
No, dude, we gotta look. It can't just be 100% ridiculous. This is actually a good.
All right. Okay, maybe you can do an elbow. Fine. But no hand touching.
Elbows. Boom.
Remember, they have it. You don't want it. Rule number 2.
Don't touch your face.
Never, ever touch your face, especially don't pick your nose.
So you see how rule number 1 and 2 go together. The last thing you want to do is break both those rules is high five and then touch your face. Then you got it.
If you see someone pick their nose and high five someone else, they could go to jail for murder.
We looked into that.
We did. It's a
thing. It's
in the laws.
It's not the kind of laws we advise breaking.
Don't break that law. Rule.
We break fitness laws, not virus laws.
Viral infectional disease laws. Those are not we don't mess with those. What?
Viral infectional disease?
Yeah, it's a thing. Rule number 3. Do you want me to do this one?
Yep.
Don't sweat. Whatever you do, don't exercise hard enough to sweat, and or just maybe keep the gym really cold because it's starting to get warm outside. What is your gym temperature set to?
When it's warm or when it's cold?
Right now.
65.
Killer. Wait, no, 65? Good. Oh.
Don't do it, dude.
No high fives. He's the enemy.
He's the enemy. He's the carrier.
65 degrees or colder.
I'm pretty sure Rudy's the original carrier.
I drank a beer once. 65 degrees or colder. Also, we'll just move on. Rule number 4. Do you have one? I have one.
You go.
Don't touch any equipment. No barbells, no kettlebells, no pull-up bars, especially the pull-up bars. You know what people do on those?
What if you have one of these in your hand as like a gripper?
Oh, could you make a grip out of these? That's a really good idea. We should have done that beforehand.
Probably get rid
like a gymnastic grip, but made out of Clorox wipes.
Can you grab stuff?
Like this. Why not? Give me a pull-up bar.
If you do that, then you can grab equipment.
Clorox wipe, gymnastic grip. That's a... Dang, I keep wanting to do it.
That's the hardest rule.
Okay.
I love the high five.
There we go.
See, no bar.
Oh, no, I'm okay.
Is that 4 or 5?
Don't worry about it. I think that was... I lost count. That was 4. Our producer tells us that was rule number 4. We're going to do 7. I just came up with that.
We said 5.
I was 5, but why not? They're going so well. John,
Are
number 5.
Are they, though? Are they? I mean, I know you're excited.
Only God knows.
Does he?
Hakuna Matata. When in Rome. Rule number 5, John.
No spitting. Don't spit on the floor in your gym.
Have you seen...
Not anymore. I don't care if you used to
do that.
In the gym?
Yeah, I've had people do that.
Gym. People don't do that in my gym.
I've seen people do it.
People don't even drop empty bars in our gym.
Matt Fraser spits all the time right on Dave Castro's floor.
You mean at the games?
new Home Depot center. He does. I've seen him do it. It's disgusting. You know what a spit is like right now? It's like a bullet.
I've never seen him do that. You know why?
Because you don't watch the games.
Because I don't watch people
A
exercise on
spit
TV.
is like a bullet out of a gun right now. Not just a bullet that you throw.
Which is confusing because if you have a healthy respiratory system and no like existing kidney condition, it's actually just like a mild cold, right? So it's not really like a bullet out of a gun. It's like maybe like a BB gun.
That's what you said. It's not what Fox News says.
That's a reliable news source.
I didn't say it. It wasn't me. Rule number 6. Do you have one? Don't touch anything in the bathroom ever.
That's just a good rule at gyms anyway.
It's a good rule.
Or anywhere.
In general.
That you should teach your children.
You remember the bathroom at Outlaw?
I teach my girls, don't touch that. Number 7, don't use any chalk.
No chalk.
Because here's the real question. Did you need it anyway before?
Or were you just resting?
Or were you just resting?
You're just resting and walk over to the chalk bucket.
An excuse.
Jeez, that drives me freaking crazy.
To stop exercising.
It drives me crazy. They walk over powder their hands with the chalk. Like if I'm gonna rest while I'm doing a workout, I'm just gonna stand there. I don't need chalk. Don't touch the chalk. Other people touch it, they have the corona. All of them. John, really good job on the rules. Let's do a high five.
Nailed it. You can do that.
We don't have the coronas now.
You should also invest in Clorox wipes.
But this is a true story. I tried to find my son and I, Deacon, and I tried to find Purell last weekend. Hand sanitizer doesn't exist anymore. Apparently, every ounce of it's been bought. There probably could be a market for like a resale, and you could just stand on the side of the road with like Purell, jack the price up 300%. It's just a thought, budding businessmen.
It's one of the many activities you could engage in instead of writing your own programming.
Yeah. If you signed up with us, if you signed up for our program.
Or you could be like Jeb and his wife and open a coffee shop.
Yeah, they own the whole city, though. It's their city. Is he the mayor yet?
I mean, basically.
They're good at things. Everything, pretty much. They're annoying how good they are at stuff.
It's awesome.
And they're all cute, and
they're also good enough to write their own program, but they don't do it.
Because they have time to open a coffee shop.
Right. All right, y'all. All joking aside, though, we're making light of what we know is a very serious situation. The reality is, if we had some perfect advice to give you about it, we would. But this is one of those rare times, to be honest, as a gym owner that usually has what I feel like is solid advice for fellow gym owners. I'm not sure what the best thing to do is. Proceed with caution, use your best judgment. We're all in this together, and we know it is a serious situation. Just trying to have a little fun. So,
yeah, we actually don't have any real advice. I don't know what I'd do. I with the gym or being around a lot of people. I think it's a crazy scenario.
Yeah. Yep.
But
it is a time, it is a time to point out, the healthier you are, the more fit you are, the more fit you're making your community, the less impact something like this can have overall. So it's cool to feel like we're all doing our own little part in that way, or have done our part up to this point. But I don't know the right answer, man. So, but definitely don't sweat in the gym because it's dangerous.
Or touch anyone.
Don't touch anybody either.
That's how I'm viewing it. Like driving down here today when had to go inside a gas station or something like that. Like I made sure I wore long sleeves. It feels so weird. Like doing stuff like that. I feel so.
Well, and it's a tricky situation too, right? Because on one hand, I hear the people that are saying, hey, unless you already have a compromised immune system, right? It's basically the symptoms are like a runny nose and maybe a little bit of a fever. And like we were talking about earlier, there's probably a fair number of people that already had it, thought it was the cold, and moved right through it.
I might have had it last weekend.
The problem is, if you're an elderly person with some type of respiratory condition, you're at great risk. And if you're not, you're still at risk of passing it to someone like that who is. So as a unified global community, we have a responsibility to try to pass it, because that's how it's going to get to the people that it could really, really adversely affect and possibly kill. So it's a serious situation, but it does seem a bit ridiculous that everybody's buying toilet paper.
Why?
I don't know. Toilet paper? I can think of a lot of other...
That's a thing? Toilet paper? They're buying toilet paper.
Shelves are out of toilet paper. Like hand sanitizer I get, but like it's like there's no toilet paper anywhere. I can think of a lot of other things I'd be more worried about running out of. There's other ways to handle that situation. Hoses.
Wire your toilet to shoot the other way. Bidet, I believe it's called.
Yeah, I mean,
Those are awesome, by the way. I love a bidet. Too much? Was that too...
Yeah, we can't use that.
Everybody that's ever used a bidet,
It's not provocative.
Are Europeans are they're just nodding. They don't even think about it. They're and some of the Aussies are like, yeah, bidets are great. Especially the French. Do we have any French gyms signed up? Probably not, because they don't understand.
They don't get us.
They don't get it. Anyway, should we talk about the new programming cycle, which we just started?
I mean, we can talk more about the corona, because it is an interesting topic. It is a hot topic.
I don't have an opinion on it other than it's weird.
This is going to sound weird, but this is what I feel like people should do. They should take it seriously and also chill the out.
Yeah.
You can do both of those things.
Agreed.
You can do both.
Agreed.
You can chill out and take it seriously, right? One of my good friends hit me up today. He's like, his daughter has asthma. They're taking her out of school. Yeah, for sure, absolutely. But stay cool, stay calm. I mean, he is staying calm. I'm not saying, but panic, as it turns out, doesn't help anything.
Well, it helps toilet paper sales.
Yeah, those dudes are raking it in.
The Charmans.
Interesting fact I learned from my boy Scott at the gym. The largest markup in the paper industry
is toilet paper. Wait, in general or right now?
They developed the coronavirus. The toilet paper.
The toilet papers didn't they? Sons of bitches.
But
did they start with the monkeys?
I still understand how they knew that was going to make people buy toilet paper.
Anything makes people buy toilet paper and bread.
No, when it's like a storm or whatever, it's usually milk and what is it? Milk and bread. Milk and bread. Even though nobody usually eats it. Toilet paper is a new one, I feel like.
I would agree.
So,
is the water supply going to run out? What if we end up with?
As long as you can wipe your ass, you're okay, dude.
We're really going on about the toilet paper a lot.
I feel like there's some usable content.
I don't even use toilet paper.
Oh my god.
I use these.
You use your hand, don't you?
Well, just not the kind that hurt.
There are plenty of places in the world. Afghanistan, for example, they use their left hand to wipe their butt. That's why left-hand dap is like, dude, don't. What? Are you trying to disrespect me right now?
I have a question.
That's the hand you wipe your ass with, son.
I have a question. You've been to Afghanistan.
Don't raise your hand. Put your hand.
You've been to Afghanistan, right?
Yes.
Did you use your hand?
No, I'm an American. We had toilet paper.
I feel like if you had been culturally aware.
I did eat their food. It was good, dude. It's like this chicken dish, and they roll out a plastic mat. And they just dumped a bunch of chicken and rice on the mat. And you
just put the poop hand in there and grab it?
Oh, God. No, you don't eat. They don't.
Oh, you eat with your right hand. That's right.
You don't high five or shake hands with the left hand.
Yeah.
It's like, that's bad juju. I mean, it's bad juju here. Maybe that's where it came from. Maybe everybody used to.
Well, at some point, yeah.
Much? Our producer was shaking her head. She's like, stop.
This is too much?
Like 30 minutes ago.
30 minutes of poop
awesome,
talk.
Guys, 22 minutes of unusable
20. I feel like the 7 ways
this is just not going well
to not get the corona. I feel like that
I know you think it was good, buddy. I know, dude.
What about Ebola? What if that comes back?
Look at me. I appreciate the effort.
What if Ebola comes back?
I feel like this is... It's like the plane...
Can we talk about Ebola for just a second?
No.
What about SARS?
Nope.
Can we talk about that? Mm-mm. I feel like the Ebola was much scarier because it made you bleed from your eyes. Nobody wants that. That's a bad one. Like, that one's bad.
Could be a lot worse, dude.
You know who started that?
Oh, God.
The Visine people. God, that was dumb. That was so dumb.
I just want to eat some pizza at this point.
Pizza? Are we eating pizza?
You can.
I don't want anybody to touch it, though.
If you get it, it's just going to pass through your system. You understand that, right? So if you get it...
Is that why you need the toilet paper?
Hold on. That's actually a good point. So if you get it, just don't be an asshole and go out in public and give it to anyone else. Just ride it out at home.
So,
everything will be fine. If everybody does that, it'll die. But people aren't going to do that. They're going to be like, I'm going to go to work.
Oh, I thought you were doing a nose because you wiped your nose when you said it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to work.
Oh, I just touched my face.
I'm going to go to work.
Don't do that, dude.
What, did I just throw my SARS?
Corona on me,
I threw my SARS on you.
It hit my face.
You felt the coronas.
I touched my face.
Time out.
I got it.
Time out.
I got it. Well, I'm just going to stay.
Real talk. Do the Corona beer people love this sickness?
I don't think this is a good
or do they hate
connotation, dude. They probably hate it.
But it's the name. It's name recognition. Any press is good press, right?
I don't know.
You want to get your brand name out there. What if they... Oh, forget it.
Maybe Modelo is stoked.
Modelo's like, no!
Or maybe they're like, yeah. Maybe they started it. Maybe they started it.
John has breached the case. Is that what you say?
No.
What was it? Broke the case.
Broken the case.
Authorities look into Modelo starting the coronavirus.
Coronas.
I could go for... No, I don't like Corona that much.
I love Corona.
I like Modelo.
I like Corona better.
To be fair. It's too... With the lime and... Can we just... I don't even like beer. What am I talking about?
Whiskey's way better.
True.
All right, should we talk about this new cycle?
Vision. We don't have to. 5-3-1. Strength. Continue individual parts weightlifting. Building on the last cycle. A little bit less CNS frying than the 10-8. What's it called? The Kyle Pierce cycle. That's what I always called it.
Oh,
the Kyle Pierce cycle that we just finished.
10-5-2s.
Yeah, the 5-3-1's a little bit less taxing on the CNS.
5-3-1 is probably my favorite all-time strength cycle ever.
I like to run it at least twice a year. And
should we talk about the nuances of the cycle?
Yeah, I actually think you know as much about it as anybody. So yeah, let's actually talk about that. Let's actually do something serious.
Okay. So when it comes to 5-3-1, I personally think it's Jim Wendler, right?
Yep.
Jim Wendler's 5-3-1. I personally think it's the most effective way to build strength from beginner all the way up to like fairly advanced lifter, right? So I personally built all the way up to a 600-pound deadlift and a 500-pound squat and a 400-pound bench press, all at just under 200 pounds of body weight with nothing except for 5-3-1 programming and a few accessories. No chains, no bands, no like chains and bands, no super crazy West Side barbell madness. I'm not saying that stuff doesn't work. I'm just saying.
Okay,
I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just saying it's not necessary.
Agreed.
Now I didn't. Also, those guys, Westside, those guys break world records. I didn't break any world records. I didn't even come close, but I got pretty strong for a CrossFitter, which is what we're going for. So, when you have a limited amount of time and you're going for the most stimulus in an hour for strength, I don't think it can be beat. And here's why. It's always 3 sets. The first 2 are designed to prime up and fire up tee up your CNS and get you ready to go. And all of the magic is in that last maximal effort set.
Yeah, not to mention that maximal effort set is a wonderful segue into CrossFit style lifting, right? When you pulled.
What do you mean by that, Rudy?
Well, when you
Expound upon that.
When you pulled max effort 85% deadlifts, right? Then a 225 in a workout for 25 reps seems, assuming that your max effort 85% is what?
Right. So what you're saying is
a fairly high number.
So what you're saying is, say a powerlifter 1 rep max might be able to get might be really high, but his ability to cycle his 90 or 80, 85% max, that's a different skill set.
Like the difference between torque and horsepower.
Right. Exactly. Good analogy. So what for the purposes of our sport, CrossFit, and then therefore our sport being designed to make you better, a healthier human being and a higher quality of life and wellness and all that, instead of focusing on just being able to pick up one really heavy object one time in space and time, which doesn't really translate but so much to quality of life, you're better at cycling heavy weights, and you're also going to get better at doing that 1 rep max. But by cycling percentages close to your 1 rep max, you're working on muscular endurance, gives your CNS more work, et cetera, and it's a very efficient way, I would say arguably the most efficient way to build strength in the context of our 1 hour programming. The key though is that your people understand is that they're moving well and everything's smooth, that they really do go for broke on that max effort set. It can't be like a couple left.
Yeah, that's a hard, from a coaching perspective, that's where it gets like tricky. Where do you, especially the deadlift, that's always the one that people break down on. Mm-hmm. The back starts to round, the lower spine.
It's not worth even the slightest loss of technique on the squat or the deadlift. Shut it down as soon as you've lost, because you need to reinforce I would suggest that you reinforce with your people that as soon as that technique breaks down, if they do any more reps, they're just reinforcing a negative movement pattern anyway, that the body's going to be that much more likely to revert to the next time things get heavy.
Well, not to mention, like if there's any break in especially the sort of connectivity of the spinal column, right? If there's any rounding there, then, and you're doing a number of sets with that rounding in the spine, what are you actually doing? Well, you're strengthening your back in this position, right? In a rounded position. And we know for almost everything else we do, especially for just posture, walking around, that we don't need a back that's strengthened like this. We need a back that's strengthened to hold here.
Contrary to common belief, though, you can strengthen the shit. What's the Russian dude? You can strengthen the shit
I was just thinking,
out of your back in that position. It just doesn't translate to anything else. Was that Russian?
I was literally just gonna use him as an example, and I can't remember his name.
He's phenomenally
the
strong.
Guy that pulls like
his
800.
Style, like he sets up with a rounded back and then pulls like.
Yeah, and the Russians did all these studies on muscular activation and would it hurt and blah blah blah, and they actually figured out that he was more stable, like all this crazy stuff, right?
But it just doesn't translate to anything else.
Yeah, it doesn't translate to anything else. What happens when that guy wants to snatch? Well,
he doesn't.
He probably doesn't. Although that guy is have you ever watched any? I used to watch his videos like 2010. Mm-hmm. That guy could do like 50 kipping pull-ups. Like that guy was an incredible athlete. Mm-hmm. Anyway, but we digress. So right? We don't want to reinforce. It's not just reinforcing bad habits, right? I hate sort of generalities like that. It's not reinforcing bad habits. It's you don't want to get strong like this. We're reinforcing a curvature of the spine, right? And we don't want this to be our strongest position, period, right? So that's when time comes for you guys as coaches to be able to have the knowledge and the understanding of position enough to be able to look at the athlete and go, okay, time to stop.
Yeah, and we'll run this cycle, anywhere from 12 to 16 weeks?
We're going to 12, I think.
So, like I said, it's a cycle. And to clarify, when I hit those lifetime numbers off of the Wendler 531,
which is still one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
Yeah,
like strength wise.
It was without. I took all the accessory work out of the entire last 4 weeks. I think I did it for 16 weeks, right? So the point is, I did that on purpose, right, to do some overcompensation. But the point is, it's a super effective program, right? In and of itself, just the meat of the program, just the main lifts for those 3 sets because of that max effort stimulus. And then obviously we built the rest of the conditioning and the gymnastics progression to complement what's going on right now.
Right, you're not going to see a bunch of deadlifts in the a bunch of heavy deadlifts in the program. You're not going to see much heavy outside of maybe a few power cleans, things of that nature. But yeah. I really don't like going all the way back to like running a small off cycle 8-9 years ago. I'm a big proponent of making sure that if this is the strength focus, that this make sure we don't just ram into each other all the time.
Mm-hmm. And then another point to make is you already heard from our clients. You'll probably hear from a lot of your athletes like, man, my CNS is all over the place, right? Like Monday felt heavy, and everything felt, like poop. And then I came in today and everything felt light and I lifted more than ever. That's normal, right? Got to get into the cycles, let the CNS get stimulated. Just reinforce to them that the magic of the program right now, when it comes to the 531 format, is in that max effort. And so that's the great thing about the 531 is it's self-calibrating. And what I mean by that is if they're having kind of an off day, they get a few less reps. That's all right. They still got the max effort stimulus.
Yep.
And if they're having a great day and they have already gained a lot of strength, they get to cash in on it, right, on a weekly basis and solidify it rather than waiting all the way to the end of the cycle only to find out like, shit, man, I got way stronger 6 weeks ago and I was still going off the percentages when I started the cycle, and I'd already got some gains, and I cut myself short on what I could have got out of the cycle. It self-calibrates to meet them on either end of that spectrum. Not having a great day or a great week or a great month, having a great day, a great week, a great month. It self-calibrates and meets them where their body's already at.
Yeah, that's partially why we did the Kyle Pierce cycle last, was to sort of get that accommodation in the central nervous system, because there's no real max effort in that cycle. It's just.
Well, and the great thing about that cycle too is it's the only program, it's the only Olympic weightlifting cycle in the country that I know that starts at such a high rep range, and which has a whole host of physiological benefits, especially in our sport, muscular endurance, et cetera, et cetera. But it also drives strength and stability and mass to the areas you need to be safe, so that now that we're on this Wendler and we're pulling 5, 3, 2, 1 reps, right? You have the infrastructure, your body has the tendon strength and the muscular mass in those areas to be able to support the force that your CNS is now generating through the area without getting injured.
It's
like we've been doing this shit forever or something. Nope. Don't do it.
High five, but no Coronas.
Can't touch your face.
Oh, God, no. Killer! That feels better. Yep, do that. Yep, get it off of me. Get it off that hand. There you go. Nope, not my face. Can you get the Coronas? Okay, let's say
you get the Coronas.
Let's say you have some Corona. Don't you have a degree in biology?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If the Coronas are right here, do they live right here?
What do you mean?
Let's say a snot flies on me of a Corona.
Yeah.
Right? A molecule.
Mm-hmm.
Does the Coronas live right there? Does it stay there?
For a brief period of time.
How brief?
Survive. I don't know that. I don't know if anybody knows that.
You have a degree.
Yeah, I don't. You'd have to be like, there's the Corona's life cycle just started, and then like watch it with a magnifying glass till it dies on someone's skin.
But it does die. If it's on your skin, it does die. As long as I don't lick.
Most viruses, if it doesn't find a place Like if it's just on your hand and you don't touch your face for long enough, it'll just die right there on your hand. It needs like, the reason the face is so susceptible because the mucous membranes in your eyes and your nose and mouth, it can get through that stuff.
2 words. Gas mask.
Nope, don't do that. That's weird.
Gas mask won't work?
I'm touching my face again.
Jesus, what about a ninja mask?
I got it for sure.
What if we just saran wrapped our heads? Does that work? So wait.
I saw a lady with a few trash bags on her head.
Hypothetically, the painter's mask would work then. Yes? That we're giving absolutely, just I would like to preface, we're giving no medical advice whatsoever right now.
The only thing you should listen to on this entire 38 minutes of content is anything we said about exercise. That's it.
Yep. Anything else?
Disclaimer.
Anything else, just forget it. Oh, but get some toilet paper.